minutes. They all seem like no 12 minutes of gameplay, but alright. 12 hours, ain't even that. I was thinking about it. Action. Alright, we're back. We're playing this game. Don't know anything. Something.
The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
I don't believe the fire is the only reason this house is in such a state.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
Huh. It's really that old.
Come on, let's leave the stories of the dead alone. They've nothing to do with your case anyhow. Let's go up there. Unless you still have questions.
Still have questions.
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
That's why you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
Yes. If something escaped us, or if there's been a law enforcement error, then it's up to the police to make good its mistake. Anything else?
Your partner, Andrews, warned me against him.
You managed to get something out of that bum? I'll end up asking you for advice.
He talks too much. He inferred that old Silas was slightly unhinged.
That's not far off the mark, I suppose. But kinda unfair at the same time. You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family, so he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way, he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Yes.
Or do you want to go up there?
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
It's a wise attitude. But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
Could he be a problem?
Strictly speaking, he ain't dangerous. But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though, he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man doesn't worry me.
Gee, if you don't want to listen to my advice, we might as well go. Right?
Night falls quickly here, and I want to be able to see when we arrive.
I'll go with you, if only to reassure Silas.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
Hopefully an hour of Red Dead Redemption before I get off. Oh, I just gotta time into it. Yeah, we're on schedule. Really need to get some rest. Keep me in prayer, guys. On for a little bit.
Poor kid. Charles Hawkins' grave. Who could have done this?
I told you. Silas Winchester is still watching over the Hawkins family.
I must say, it's pretty gloomy.
So, Detective, does this place inspire any thoughts?
Why were they buried here?
I was given to believe that it was Charles Hawkins' wish.
Strange idea. I imagine Webster wasn't too pleased.
Mrs. Hawkins' father? It's said that he's devastated.
Let's go to the mansion.
Please give me a minute. I didn't expect to set foot back here after the burial.
The flowers on Sarah Hawkins' grave are fresh. The old caretaker must be very attached to her. Bradley was right. This place is much older than I imagined. Recently fallen. It's as if all life has abandoned the place. Sturdy and well sharpened.
Hope I didn't.
No question of leaving now. I must examine the scene of the fire. The axe is gone. I'd better be on my guard.
Sure.
This entrance is still in use.
Whoa!
Whoa!
You were trying to force the door, you nosy prick!
Easy, sir, all right? Put down the axe.
You know what we do with rubble like you? We gut them! Dump them into the ocean!
Whoa! You're Mr. Winchester. Lower that axe. Let's talk calmly.
I'll show you how we have it out on Darkwater.
You haven't forgiven yourself. You stay here to honor the memory of the deceased.
That's true. I want no more violence. No more tragedy.
It's painful to be the last one left.
You don't know how right you are. Understood. I'm listening.
The police report describes a domestic accident. But Stephen Webster has several reasons to believe that this may not be the case.
Webster is as stubborn as an old mule. And I did tell him that we should let the dead rest in peace.
He wants to restore the reputation of his daughter. I just need to see where the fire started.
No, I can't let you in. The mansion isn't safe.
That's why you barricaded the entrance.
That's right.
And this door?
It's locked, and I make sure it stays that way.
No one lives in the mansion, and you don't take care of it anymore. If you have a good reason to be here, I'm listening.
There's vermin. I keep an eye out.
Vermin.
Yeah, that's it, vermin.
Right. This is what we're going to do. I go inside, and I promise that I'll hunt vermin. Okay with you?
I'm not sure.
If there's nothing else to fear, you can give me that key.
Right. Take the key and do what you have to do. Go on, then. Just to get rid of you.
Let's see what more I can learn from this mansion.
I want to finish asking little questions.
What now?
Do you have a moment?
What now?
Nothing. Sorry.
Stop wasting my time.
Okay. Alexis. Got my clues.
This gate is locked.
Sorry, but just keep glitching.
The poor wretch seems to spend the best part of his time isolated from the world. Rather Spartan. The caretaker has simple tastes. I know a thing or two about solitude myself.
Pierce, shall we enter? Now that you've finished your fun and games with Silas, we can perhaps inspect the mansion.
You're right. Let's go. Let's take a look inside.
I'm with you. Follow me. I know the place. Who left this light on?
The Last Supper of the Hawkins. What does this tell me? What kind of meat is this? This place is for the head of the family, Charles Hawkins. The boy was probably here. Smashed his plate on the floor. Sarah Hawkins' plate. Why did she leave it untouched? Something happened at this table. An argument?
Daydreaming again?
Working, officer. This dinner table tells us a lot about the Hawkins family life.
Well, we don't have all day. The scene of the fire is next door. Silas managed to bring the fire under control.
Was Charles Hawkins some kind of explorer?
But it was already too late for the Hawkins.
Let's see if I can find something the cops missed. The child's corpse left a trace. Where are the others? Did it stop at the time of the fire? Did Sarah Hawkins lose one of her shoes? How? They had a fight. Why? Was Charles Hawkins a heavy drinker? Did someone escape the fire? If the painting I found on the docks really came from here, how come it didn't burn? Blood. This lamp was thrown. This was no accident. This was a fight. Someone fell here. A desperate attempt to flee.
So, Detective, what do you make of it?
I think that some of your colleagues should turn in their badges. This room is bursting with evidence that seriously contradicts the official inquiry.
Well, of course, Mr. Holmes. Like what?
I found a bottle of whiskey. Empty.
Well, that must have been a loss for you.
No glass. I suspect one of them drank heavily to calm down. Charles, most probably.
That's pretty thin. Who says that bottle hadn't been there for a while?
I can tell where young Simon was, but not his parents. Where were their bodies found?
I can't help you on that one. Charles and Sarah's bodies had already been carried away when I got here.
Without your authorization? By whom?
Marshall, Andrews, Chief West. We never deal with cases like that, you know. So... well...
It would seem at least one person fled the crime scene.
What you say?
That mark on the door. Someone's hand slid down there. The left side has no mark. The door was open and that someone left.
For God's sake. I mean, if it's Charles or Sarah, they wouldn't have left their son.
They would rather die in the flames as a family instead of calling for help? I don't buy it.
Oh, yeah?
I was under the impression the fire started around midnight.
Yes, Silas banged on our door around 1 a.m. Poor devil ran so hard he was almost belching his lungs out.
This clock burned before 10 p.m.
That's impossible. What you imply? Silas never would have hurt the Hawkins family. Besides, Dr. Fuller confirmed the hour of death in his report. Your clock must have already have stopped.
Honestly, you don't find that suspicious?
That's troubling, I have to admit. But I trust Silas. And Dr. Fuller is an authoritative figure. The mainland folks are damned envious that he's here with us. A brilliant surgeon, and a friend of the family. I'm sure he took the matter to heart. So, excuse me if I value his opinion over yours.
So be it. Let's move on. I suspect this lamp caused the fire.
That's what the investigation suggested, too.
But does your report mention the bloodstains? The lamp didn't fall, it was thrown at someone.
For heaven's sakes, no. The report doesn't mention that.
I firmly believe this fire was more than just an accident.
Huh. What's your theory?
I think the Hawkins couple got into a fight.
You sure of that?
There's only one way to be sure.
I just ask that you don't disturb anything. If Chief West found out about what we're doing, I'd be in serious trouble.
This door is locked. These bandages are covered in dried blood. The same bandages that I saw in the warehouse on the docks. And given the bloodstains, I'd also say that it's the same person. An original edition of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein,
Quite a building,
dated
don't you think?
1818.
Do you know that the Hawkins were among the wealthiest families on the island?
What do you know about Charles Hawkins' activities?
Well, not much, to be honest. We all assumed the Hawkins...
Moby Dick, Melville's classic. The epic battle between man and whale. Mandatory reading for any whaler, I guess.
If you're right, we should be able to find clues among the Hawkins' personal effects.
A book on the first inhabitants of the island. It seems they got here around the 14th century.
Did you hear that?
This place was falling apart long before the fire. One of Sarah Hawkins' paintings. Her style sure is recognizable. A book on hunting whales, the island's staple diet last century. What could Sarah have done to make this person threaten to call the police? The boys' room. A child's fort. From what threat was Simon protecting his world? Tom Sawyer. Mark Twain. Sarah must have read it to him before bed. Sleeping pills. Strong for an 11-year-old boy. What was wrong with this family? What nightmarish vision could have inspired them? Simon's troubles went beyond family problems. That kid saw something. Something terrified him. What was going through that boy's mind? The argument that led to their tragic end seems to have been simmering for some time. This door is locked. What will her room reveal about her? Barbiturates. Sarah Hawkins must have been extremely agitated, resorting to such a treatment. A barbiturate prescription from a certain Dr. Fuller. That's a massive dose. Was Sarah violent? This padlock is too complicated for me. It's no use. The padlock won't give. Locked. It's no use. The padlock won't give. This door is locked.
Oh, it's key. What's the sheriff?
What do you know about Charles Hawkins' activities?
Well, not much, to be honest. We all assumed the Hawkins lived on Charles's inheritance. If you're right, we should be able to find clues among the Hawkins' personal effects.
The lyrics of the drunken sailor. A sea shanty. This door is blocked from the outside. This piano is in disrepair. Looks like the Hawkins kept it more for decoration than for music. This piano is in disrepair. Looks like the Hawkins kept it more for decoration than for music.
Did you hear that?
A crowbar. Could prove useful.
What offices?
It's no use. The padlock won't give. Was Sarah Hawkins interested in the occult? What was she trying to achieve? This ledger lists all of the paintings Sarah Hawkins sold.
I guess it was a lot too, wasn't it?
It seems the last one was given for free to a Francis Sanders. I wonder why. Despite what happened, they seem to have loved each other.
Oh, shit.
The door is blocked on the other side. Sarah Hawkins' agent was getting worried. Seems she wasn't giving any signs of life.
Isn't that what?
Bradley? Is that you? Is anyone there? So.
You! Stop!
Bradley, did you see which way he went?
Who? I didn't see anyone. I just heard some noise. Are you all right?
A man was hiding on the upper level. He ran when he saw me. He can't be far. This door is blocked from the outside.
I'll cover you.
This door was closed earlier. Where did he go? As if the bookcase has been moved several times. It looks like an old Seaway map.
Do you really think that your fugitive came in here? I don't see any way out.
This globe seems to have been part of some mechanism. Doesn't work. I must have missed something. Clearly, Charles Hawkins knew Captain Fitzroy very well. I wonder who the man with the glasses is in the photograph. Probably another friend of Hawkins. They look like Celtic runes. Charles must have brought them back from one of his foreign trips. As if the bookcase has been moved several times. Seems like this came from a log.
"42 North."
There must be a link with the Seaway map. There must be a link with the Seaway map.
Alright, it is 42 North.
There must be a link with the Seaway map.
70 West.
There must be a link with the Seaway map.
49 North. 61.
There must be a link with the Seaway map.
55 West.
Doesn't work. I must have missed something.
Yeah, you and me both.
The Scylla. It's the boat that was stranded at the entrance to the harbor. It looks like a freehand map of dark water. Certain areas have been highlighted. I wonder why. Have you seen the old maritime maps on Charles Hawkins' desk?
Strange. No ship has left Darkwater's shore for years.
Looks like the navigational paths described in the log.
I don't know if it has to get. Oh.
There must be a link with the Seaway map.
Okay, must be.
Looks like the navigational paths described in the log.
I don't know.
Doesn't work. I must have missed something. Doesn't work. I must have missed something.
That's what ended very